This is an absolute heist for the Phoenix Suns. As we all know, Kevin Durant's trade rumors have been the center talk of these Suns offseason discussions so far, and Shams Charania, the NBA insider, gave us a little bit of tidbit of information revolving around Kevin Durant being linked to a previous team around the trade deadline that I think makes the perfect sense and has the best assets for the Phoenix Suns to get in return to really reshape this roster alongside Devin Booker. So we're going to dive in and we're going to explore what team this potentially is and how the Phoenix Suns could get a trade done with that respective franchise. We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support for these daily uploads, bringing you guys all the latest Phoenix Suns news. And I want to say I appreciate every single one of you, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on today's video on what you think the Phoenix Suns should do with Kevin Durant, and if you like this trade partner within this organization. We'll be going live once again on Thursday with our special guest, and I'll give you a little bit of an announcement on that on Wednesday, so make sure to stay tuned and hope to see you guys all there as well. But without further ado, we're going to dive in. We're going to get into today's video at hand today. Make sure to grab that snack and let's get into it. As once again, this is an interesting report and something really seeing the eyes of Suns fans on social media. So it's something I definitely wanted to dive into. Now, at the point of recording this video right now, the Suns have not hired their new head coach, scheduled to get live today. But if this video you do see later in the day, it's because the Suns hired their head coach in the middle of recording or post-recording, and I uploaded that video first. But we did see from reports today from Shams Charania, the NBA insider, on the Pat McAfee show, a lot of things that he said. But he did say one thing revolving around the Spurs and the Suns, as he said that there was mutual interest between the Spurs and Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. And one thing also, that the Spurs are expected to see Wemby at the full go at training camp. Good news for the Spurs. Even if you're a Suns fan, you have that bit of rivalry with the Spurs. We don't want to see Wemby go out of the NBA due to injury. We want to see him succeed. But this second part is really the key information, as the Spurs apparently were linked to Kevin Durant at the trade deadline, were interested, and hold multiple draft picks in the draft this year, and have multiple young talents that could really help the Suns to really reset into this rebuild. Like I've mentioned with the Phoenix Suns multiple times, if you've been a long-term subscriber, you have seen this graphic basically in every video. But the Phoenix Suns, as we all know, are in the second apron, have a lot of restrictions with how they can make trades. But with waiving Vasilije Micic, waiving Kobe Martin, they can drop below the second apron into the first apron and have a lot more flexibility revolving around Kevin Durant and this trade market. We all know the Suns are also bare-boned on this roster, currently at the moment only stating 8 guys on the roster, and if they look to make a Kevin Durant trade, would at least like to get 1 or 2 contracts, if not 3, in return to really supplement that depth that Durant would be providing or be missing for this team on the offensive and defensive side. We all know Durant is on that $51 million contract this season, so if he is traded before the draft, he will be traded, or before free agency starts, he will be viewed as a $51 million contract on the 2024-2025 NBA season, but post free agency, post July 1st, if he is looked to be traded, he will be making that $54 million on his 1-year deal on that expiring, which could make things a little bit easier for the Phoenix Suns, as with a little bit more money to spare with Kevin Durant, you can take back a little bit more in return. And as we all know with this team, it has been the Spurs, and if you've been a fan of me and you read my stuff as well, I made an article relating to this as well with the team that makes the most sense for Kevin Durant. I published this on May 18th. It is currently May 27th, so just about 10 days ago, I made this article live talking about the Spurs being a team that should be interested in Kevin Durant, and they seemingly are, right? They have a lot of young talent. Shams said they could potentially be interested in a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo or Kevin Durant, as those are kind of the big name stars on the move. And I feel like a trade for Kevin Durant for the Spurs does really ultimately make sense. One, it allows De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama to get another shot creator and score around them. But not only just that, Kevin Durant on a 1-year deal is probably the peak value that you want to get for San Antonio, right? Because Kevin Durant, at his age as well, even though he's still talented, is getting older. And for a younger team in San Antonio, really trying to add these veterans at the best value you can, I think is going to be key. Because not only can Durant be that scorer alongside Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox, on the wing for this San Antonio Spurs team, but as he gets older, he can fill in and be a great quality scorer and shot creator for this team as his age continues to go up. Not only just that, Durant also went to college at the University of Texas, as we all know. With San Antonio being there, he gets to kind of go home to a team that he obviously spent a long time, or just one season ultimately, but a part of his NBA journey in Texas. But not only just that, I think the Spurs have exactly what the Phoenix Suns want. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, what you guys think. But as we get into the next part of here of what would the Phoenix Suns get, I think ultimately this has one of the better packages. You want to look at some other teams. Obviously, the Mavericks are a big sticking point. Oh, we could get Daniel Gafford. He'd be a great center. Ultimately, I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are trading for Kevin Durant. They're going to take Cooper Flagg. You obviously talk about, the potential of trading him to the Rockets. It's just way, way too complex. The Suns have to get Jalen Green. The Suns don't want Jalen Green because they have Devin Booker. They'd have to do a 3-team trade trading Jalen Green somewhere else. That just makes it more complicated. And receiving end for Houston, not going to happen. There are other teams, maybe Miami, maybe Minnesota, maybe even Denver, that have piqued some interest over these last couple weeks, or maybe fans are talking themselves into potentially getting. But I think San Antonio has the best package for the Phoenix Suns for these reasons why. And it has 4 players the Suns could bring in, and it's Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, and Jeremy Sohan. And these names might not scream out to you, might not be that perfect piece, but ultimately I think adding one of these great players, or any of these great players, could be great. Now, starting with Vassell, obviously plays a very similar role to Devin Booker, but the best part about him compared to Jalen Green, his contract's a little bit cheaper. He makes right around $23 million, I do believe, and I do think that obviously a backcourt of Vassell and Booker isn't the best, obviously, defensively. I still think Vassell could play pretty solid alongside Devin Booker and even prove to the Suns that maybe, hey, he could bring you another piece that's a better fit alongside this team down the road in the future if he plays up to par, and could get traded to a team that needs a shot creator scorer like Vassell down the line. Barnes, also a very solid veteran scorer off the wing, can replace, obviously not replicate, but could replace some of the offensive variance that a player like Kevin Durant does bring, and also had some big-time shots as on the San Antonio Spurs this season, and has been around the block a couple of times, so has that experience across the NBA as a griddled veteran. I think Devin Booker would appreciate him. And then looking at these other 2 pieces, Keldon Johnson, a little bit more of an athletic slashing wing, a little bit of a weird fit, hasn't really, after his rookie season, hasn't really blossomed into the player that he really outlined that season, but I still think could be, an athletic guy to have off the bench that could provide some very solid offense, grab some rebounds, and could potentially just be a guy that you use in a scoring punch when needed off the bench if you're giving Devin Booker a rest. And then ultimately the highlighting piece that I think is the most appealing is Jeremy Sohan, a passing defensive power forward. Once again, can not again replicate what Kevin Durant brings, but if you add Harrison Barnes and add Jeremy Sohan, you are replacing the, not exactly Kevin Durant, but the type of mold that Kevin Durant would bring to you in those 2 players in some smaller contracts. With Sohan obviously being on his rookie deal, you have to obviously analyze that you're going to have to extend a player like him, but I think he would be definitely worth it and allow you to kind of figure out what you want to do at your big man situation, as well as Sohan works good in the pick and roll alongside Devin Booker, but not only that, can complement either a rim protecting big or a shooting big as well, which gives the Suns multiple options to explore when trying to identify that next key piece for their rotation. So ultimately, I think San Antonio kind of has some of the better pieces that the Suns could arguably get in a return, and I would be calling up San Antonio at the very moment, at the chance that I could, to try and get some of these players. Now, obviously, San Antonio might have some attachment. Maybe the Suns can even get a pick or 2 in the future or for this draft as well, depending on when they make the trade. But I think this would be an absolute robbery for the Phoenix Suns. This is a key move that they need to do. And if trading Kevin Durant is the only real solution for the Suns of getting out of the second apron, I feel like the Spurs present the Suns with the best option to do so. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what you ultimately think on the Phoenix Suns. Do you think this is a smart move for the team? Do you think that this is not a smart move for the team? I want to know what your honest thoughts are down below in the comment section. And once again, we'll be live on Thursday, back at our regular scheduled time of 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern with our guest, and I will have an announcement for you guys on the channel and on my Twitter. So if you want to stay up to date, definitely check me out over there as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.